Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Actually, I think I've lost my voice. Sorry, I haven't been posting about a couple weeks. I've been traveling a lot, and I had basically back to back to back jobs. And so this is day, I don't even know, 12 on the road without going home. And it's a little different because I did a job where I couldn't take a lot of my equipment. I have a video coming up. I did a job on a cruise ship where I didn't take all of my equipment. So I basically had some of my equipment in some suitcase. And then I went directly after that job to Florida to do a live streaming job where I didn't need any of my equipment. And I was just there as the technical director to live stream an event. And then now we just flew from Florida to Kansas City for 2 days of filming, more on the typical side of what I normally do. And so my equipment just got shipped from my home base in Phoenix, and I just got it back. And now it's like the process of putting all the equipment back together, making sure everything is here, and also, just there's so much stuff to do when you're on the road as far as the number of batteries and all of that stuff. So I just got to the hotel maybe an hour ago, and so we had 3 cases. This case right here, the big one here, and the long one just shipped from Phoenix to Kansas City. And now I'm starting the process of charging a bunch of batteries. There's more to do. And this is the suitcase I took on the other job. And so I've got to reconcile and put all that equipment back into the cases where they belong so that tomorrow we can go on the set and have everything we need, making sure everything is in the right place. More batteries here that I need to charge that were in the backpack just because you can't check those in. And I got the V-mount batteries here that I need to charge as well. So this was, again, a very unusual season of a lot of travel, and I don't often do back-to-back jobs, but this was 3 jobs back to back to back, and I'm on my last job before I go home for a few days, and it was unusual in the fact that my equipment was kind of spread all over the place, and so now it's just a mess. And having to make sure everything is ready. I need a power cable for that charger. There it is. Yeah, this is normally not how I keep my equipment. And when you travel as much as I do, and literally like 90% of my clients are out of state for me, so traveling is just part of what I do. You have a system where you can make sure you have the equipment that you need and you know exactly where things are. And when that's disrupted and you have gear kind of all over the place in shambles, it doesn't feel great. And so today, luckily we got to Kansas City pretty early, where I have time today to make sure all my gear is ready for tomorrow, because typically I travel and I would show up in a place around in the evening, and then I would shoot the next morning. And on this one, I have a little bit of time to make sure everything is in order. So I'm trying to see, there we go. So those V-mounts are charging. Let me see, that one looks like it's full, so that's good. But yeah, we have to charge, I don't know how many batteries I got to charge. And typically, just because of lack of space, like it's already a lot of equipment to log around. And so I don't have, like, for example, like my V-mount, I have 4 batteries, but this is a dual charger. And so, I don't know why it stopped, there it goes. And so a lot of times I will not be able to charge all the batteries overnight. And so I try to start them as early as possible, and then after dinner, there's some that are charged, and I can kind of rotate them through to make sure they all get a chance to be fully charged. So We have two cameras, FX6, FX3s. So all those batteries have to be charged. Here's the FX6. The FX3 is here. I kind of reduced the amount of battery that I use for, like, for example, my Shogun monitor is now powered through the V-mount on the camera, so I don't have to charge those batteries separate. I have a lot of those Sony MP batteries, and I use those on an Electron track that's in this case. So this case is a great case. It's very heavy. This is about 89 pounds. And it's two levels. So I don't pack my gear in any particular way to say, oh, all my lights are in this case, and then all my audio is in this case. It's trying to fit as much as I can in those few cases, so that when we travel, for me, it's all about how I can be efficient in handling the equipment. And so I don't, yes, this case is 89 pounds. This one is 70 pounds. This one is 75 pounds. And that seems like a lot, and it is. But it allows me to have only 3 cases plus the camera case, so 4 cases. So it's easy to handle that with 2 of us. So on this particular job, it's me and a good friend of mine, Eric. And the 2 of us will walk into the client's office tomorrow with each 2 cases. And so, you know, a lot of times people are like, man, why don't you use, small amount of, smaller cases? But then it becomes a logistical nightmare to go from, the rental car to the shoot, or from the airport to the rental car. If you have 5, 6, 7, 8 cases, it just becomes more difficult. So for me, it works really well to have just few cases. Yes, they're big. Yes, they're heavy. But everything was purchased, designed, packed specifically for traveling. And so, so this case is a great example. It's got a little bit of everything in it. You can see I have my boom microphone. I have my wireless follow focus. This is the Amaran tube light, and it just happened that it fits perfectly. In this particular case, I need to actually get the charger for it, because we need to charge that battery, although I haven't used it in a while, so it might be okay. Let's see this. So yeah, it's really, and again, sorry about my voice. I think it's being on the road for the last 12 days that got me, I don't feel sick, but I think I'm just super tired, and that's what's happening. Here we go. So we can try to charge. Where did I put that battery? It's over there. So I quickly will turn this hotel room into a power station and just have so many. I will basically use every outlet in here, and just so that we can charge every battery that we have. This one, let me see, there it is. And like I was saying earlier before you guys came on, this is a little bit of unusual, just because I normally don't go from place to place to place. But in this particular scenario, I had to go from a cruise ship where I took basically just some equipment in this case, or in just a normal suitcase. I just put a few things that I needed. And then the rest of the gear that you see here was shipped today to Kansas City via air cargo. And now I got to put it all back together. So anyway, so you can see here the tube light, the boom mic, follow focus. That's motors for the track. I also have a little bit of a tool kit, just some tools, screwdrivers, pliers, Allen wrenches. My boom pole fits in there. Again, this is a great example of purchasing equipment specifically for travel. So it's very, very short as far as when it's folded. It just has a lot of stages, so it's kind of a pain to open up because you have a lot of stage to open. But it's purchased specifically so that it can fit in a normal case. And then this one has a second level. So let me take the top off. And then I have a diffuser and a pop-up that I use all the time. The back kind of broke, so it's kind of a little messed up. And then underneath there, well, it is a little bit of a mess. Oh, good. So this is my mat box. I have to put something back in there. Those are all clamps, and I need to put one in there that I use. This one will go in here. And then I have a few stands here. Those are short stands, so those are great as well. They're very small in footprint. They go about, I think, 7 feet high, so they don't go very high. And then they're pretty, they're not great for like holding very heavy things, but they're reverse fold, right? So the legs, let me show you, the legs fold backwards so that you have less of a footprint. And again, they can fit into this case. Now, they have two models of those Matthew stands. Those are the smaller one of the two. And I've got a few, I think I've got like 3 or 4 of them in here. And then in this long case, I have a couple beefier stand, including the Matthews. Same thing, they're reversible fold, but those are the bigger ones. And I have 2 of those in here. So, yeah, and then I have a track, Eldachrome track. Here's the head, the track underneath. And then here's my light, the Amaran 200 is here. It's actually backwards right now. I don't know who packed this up. So we can go right here. There. So that's the problem about spending a lot of time on the road. A lot of time your equipment comes back a little bit in shambles. So today it's really about it's really about putting all that gear back into shape so that tomorrow we can go film. This one goes, go put this over here. Yeah, I do need some sleep for sure. Thanks, Steph, I appreciate it. Hopefully we can do that tonight a little bit. And then in this case, same thing, it's 2. So here's the first level. There's another diffuser and bounce board, a 1x1 panel, and then some miscellaneous thing. And then at the bottom of the case, I have a Ronin. I have some XLR cables down there at the bottom for my audio. I have a couple lenses, a 100 by 400 and a 14 millimeter lens right here. Aperture light bulb. This is a an audio mixer, recorder, Zoom recorder, headphones, some miscellaneous audio stuff, and then a manual follow focus. And then I have an extension cord in here. I have another power cable for that light in here, a few little things. Yeah, and then in the long case, actually those needs to go in that case. So in this long case, I have my softbox. I have a gray card and a white balance reference card. And then this is really where I keep 2 tripods and a few stands. So I got to take everything out in order to fit the tripod where I need it to. And then I'll show you what else is in here, because some of those are really good for working on the road. Let me take this out. There. Okay. Move this out of the way. Okay. So now we have 1 tripod in there. We'll just leave it kind of here. And then the next one right here. We'll put it this way. Those are great too. So we got a couple of those. They'll fit on stands, and then you can clamp bounce boards or whatever you need to. And it's kind of cool, like they rotate, so you can put them on a stand this way, or you can put them this way, and just all kind of different ways. So I just keep a couple of them in there. All right, so that will go here. I'll move this out of the way. The head is here. So I only have 1 head. The second tripod is for me to use with the track, and the track doesn't need a head. So it's just the legs and then I can bolt on the track directly on the legs. The other thing that's good in this case is this boom arm. So same thing, so this is an impact boom arm. It'll just go on a stand like this, and then I can extend this and hang a backlight, and then you can adjust the angle. So this is a really good one because it, again, same thing, it fits in a small bag. It's a little heavy just because of this system, but it works really, really well. And again, for being on the road, this one is a great one to have, especially because I just don't have like very beefy stands. So this is my beefier one that I take with me. This is an old Lowell stand, but this is like the biggest one that I have with me. So I can't really do like very long boom arm with very heavy lights. Everything, when you travel like that, when you work on the road, you have to compromise somewhere. You can't just do it the same way as if you're at home with all your setup. But for me, this is what I do. I really never shoot at home. I mean, again, 90%, 95% of my job's on the road. So everything was designed and built specifically for this. So two more stands will go in here. And this case is like the one that's kind of just throw things in there. I do have an ND net right here, which comes very handy. You can attach that, tape it to a window or something like that, and it gives you like a quarter stop ND. And then I have a silk to diffuse sunlight if I need to. And then this is for the Amaran 200. So it'll just stay right here. There's more diffuser material in here. And then this arm is good too. So this one has this knuckle on the front end, can go straight on the stand. And then those are the clips so that I can attach any of my bounce boards, pop-ups, negs, any of those. So like any of those guys will fit on that particular arm. And then it extends so you can grab different size bounce boards. And then with the knuckles, you can just orient it this exactly however you want. And so that works pretty good. So I think that's about it in this case. I'm gonna put this back, this one. I think the long extension cord that's in here. I know you guys might think I'm a pig, but typically that's not how my gear is. Again, this was very unique to this week. And that's why this is a mess. I'm actually gonna untangle that later so that you guys don't have to suffer through this mess. And then here, I'm starting to cycle through. So this is the battery for the FX3. So the first one is done. I have like 5 of those to cycle through today. Up. Those are done. So I have this pouch where it works perfect with those batteries. So I have 5 of those big ones. Those are the 970s. And they fit perfect in this little pouch. And then I have 6 of those, 2, 4, 5, 6. And then I have the little ones, which will fit perfectly on top of it. And so all those batteries will actually fit in this one little pouch. And that way I can just throw that in my backpack when we fly, and everything is kind of contained. So we can try this one, see if it still needs to be charged. This one is done. This one still has some, but now we can put the little ones. Let's see. Yep. So that's pretty good. So hopefully by tonight or by tomorrow, those will all be charged. We'll be good to go. The one left is the Ronin battery. Yeah, it needs a little bit of power. So just get the USB cable and then I can power that up. So for those of you that dream of, doing cinematography full time and being on the road, and it's not super glamorous. It's not what it's cracked up to be. It's a lot of hauling, heavy equipment everywhere. I don't complain. I have work. I love what I do, so I really don't complain. But it's, getting to a hotel really late. Sometime, by the time we get situated, it's close to midnight. And then you start powering all those batteries. And most of my shoot, I have to be on site by 8:30 in the morning. And so get up at 6 a.m., go grab a quick breakfast, and then head down to the client. And so, yeah, it's great. Again, I wish that on anybody that wants that as far as how to make a living. It's a great, again, I wouldn't trade it, but it's a lot of work and not super glamorous, but that's okay. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful to see a little bit about how I pack my gear, what I bring with me. It's getting dark out there. Let me open this up so you can have a last look at kind of the equipment. So again, this one is not part of what I bring. This was just a little bit unusual. So the long case with the tripod. This is the camera bag with the two cameras, the monitor, my Cine lens, which is my main lens. So and this one I don't check. This one I just carry on with me. Excuse me. And then this big case that's mostly stands and lighting and the track. And this will go on top. Yeah, so that's it. That's the life of being a videographer or a cinematographer on the road. If you have any question, let me know. Post your comments down there. Ask any questions. Would love to show you any of that stuff. If I can, I will do some live during setup time, maybe tomorrow, depending on the client. If they leave me alone, they kind of let me do my setup, then I can easily go live so that you guys can kind of see what we're dealing with. I think there's value in you guys hearing the thought process into how I light or how I set up a room. Like tomorrow, I don't have a lot of information. I saw some pictures about the rooms that we're working in. We're supposed to do 3 interviews tomorrow and a bunch of B-roll. But there's a lot of thought process, a lot of conversation with my partner Eric that's here on what are we trying to do, what are we up against, how do we solve issues. And so if you're interested, stay tuned. Tomorrow I'm going to try, if it's possible, I'll go live during the setup. I probably won't be looking at the phone at all, so I'll put the phone somewhere in a corner and put the microphone on so you guys can hear me and Eric talk and discuss kind of like the process. So we'll see if we can get that done tomorrow for you guys. Marvin is asking, what lens do I use? So really, I fell in love with my Cine Prime, and that's the Canon. I only have one Cine Prime, that's a 50. Let me see, where is it? Anyway, oh, it's hidden a little bit. So hold on one sec. Oh, there he goes. Yep, so here's the 50 Canon Cine E. It's a 1.3, which is awesome. So I shoot just about everything with that particular lens. And then I do have, where is it? Over here. I have a 2470 G Master that I put on the FX3. Typically when I use the Ronin is what I would use. 2470 G Master. So I love the Canon, and then the G Master does pretty good on the Ronin. And then I have a 100-400 Canon lens, Canon zoom lens. I don't use that one. Well, I was gonna say I don't use it very often, but the reality is I love to use it in conference room, or we call it sniping people. Like I can just stay pretty far and I can push in and get a very buttery background. That works pretty good. And then I have a 14mm Canon in here, which I never use. It's just way too wide for me. Let me see, there you go, 14 Canon. That's a 2.8. The 100 to 400 is a very slow lens, so it's a 5.6. No, it's a 4.5 to a 5.6, I believe. Let me look. But that one is a little bit. That's the bummer, is just how slow that lens is. Let me see. Yeah, so it's a 4.5 to a 5.6. So at 100, it's a 4.5. You extend to 400, if I can loosen that. It's not easy holding the phone. But you extend it to 400, and now you're at a 5.6. So, yeah, but I still like to use it. It just gives you a very nice, unique, buttery look. Especially if I do close-ups in a conference room, it just works really well. Yeah, Marvin, I don't know exactly. So I'm going, excuse me. We are scheduled to be at the client 8:30 a.m. I'm in Kansas City, so whatever time zone that is, I don't even know. But 8:30 a.m. Kansas City time is when I show up there. And then I probably won't go, if I'm able to go live. Again, that depends on the client. If the client is pretty cool and they don't worry too much and they kind of just let me work in a conference room and I can just do that, it probably won't be until probably 9 a.m., maybe 9:30 a.m. That I'll go live. And then it typically takes us about an hour to set up a room. And that's to set up for interviews. So if you're interested in looking at how to set up a room for interviews, that would be a great thing. It's something that I think has a lot of value. Every time I do a setup, I'm like, man, I wish I could go live. So yeah, if you have an opportunity to tune in, I think it could be good depending on the setup. But we'll try to do that tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. Kansas City time. Yep, here's a battery that's done. You rotate it again up. What? Any other questions that I can answer for you? Any other things you guys want to see or answer? I can answer for you. Anyway, hopefully this was helpful. Here's the mess that I create every time I go somewhere. But that's the job. So just glad all the gear is here. Everything made it with no problem. And so I'm going to spend the next 40 minutes or so just packing it all up, making sure everything is ready for tomorrow. I have some footage from yesterday's job that I need to back into another hard drive. But other than that, we'll just pack it up nice and clean and we'll be ready to go in the morning. So thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm very sorry about my voice. If I'm able to go live tomorrow, it'll be the same thing. So I apologize. And then next week, I'll be back in my office and I have a couple videos planned out, especially on this cruise ship that I just finished a job on. I got some pictures about the setup that we did there because it was very different and very unique. So stay tuned. I'll talk to you guys soon and hopefully we can see you guys tomorrow as well. Bye.